very tough challenge for them to go into the grand final with 3 intense games under their belt. Machine now is with our 3rd place team, LFY, who's just been eliminated, but of course, top 3 is nothing to be that upset about. Talk to us, LFY.
Top 3 at TI7. Yes, it's a big achievement in itself. Thank you, Sean. Getting to hear now from DDC. I'm joined by Jack to break it all down. And a lot of people are saying that was one of the best of 3s of TI7, if not of some of the TIs in general. I think the first question is, what on earth was that game like? A full 3 games on that main stage.
就是有很多人说那场BO3特别精彩，可能是他们看到在 TI 这个舞台上最精彩的 BO3那么你可以用自己的想法来描述一下那是什么感受？
我们跟液体打，就是他们战术上比我们高出很多，然后我们就是打法压制然后我们每个人的交流比他们，我觉得比他们打团的细节比他们高一点，然后所以然后变成之后，他的战术上有优势，我们是打的有优势，然后看谁会赢，所以我觉得特别好看吧，这样。
I think in terms of overall big picture strategy, they might have had an edge on us, and they put a lot of pressure on us early game and in lanes. But I think in terms of coordination and team fight and maybe communication, I think we had an edge, and so that's what made the games especially close and hard fought and exciting. And so, yeah, that's why they got such good games.
Fantastic. And I think the next question is simply, you impressed us in that group stage. You know, 13-0. You come into main stage and continue to impress. Can you leave TI proud for the amount of fantastic Dota you've played over the course of this fortnight?
当然，你们小组赛的表现特别亮眼，主舞台也是。那么这一次 TI 夺得前3名，你会觉得很自豪吗？就是这次也是打出好成绩。
会啊，因为每场都是打得比较激进，然后一直灌输我们的风格，还是打进攻，然后最后打到第3，还是挺开心的。
Yeah, I think so, because every match was very close and exciting. We got to display our play style and our aggression, and ultimately we did end up getting top 3 as well.
Fantastic. And I think the last question is just, are you aware of how much the crowd was chanting LFY? I mean, I don't know if they can do it now, because they were making so much noise.
就是你在下面打的时候，你知道那观众朋友们有多激情，喊你们的老肥羊 LFY。
门没关之前还是听到很大声音的，那个比赛房一关之后，基本上声音很小。
Before we got in the booth, we were able to hear, but once we got in there, not so much.
The guys in the Key Arena put on a fantastic show. LFY, DDC, thank you. 3rd place at TI7. Gracious in victory and defeat. Back over to you guys in the desk.
So impressed with LFY's gameplay, with their composure during and after the game. Again, I still want to call it one of the best comebacks ever. They should have lost at like 15 minutes, but stabilized and have earned a huge amount of fans. I personally am just still so blown away by Inflame.
I think they just should be super happy about their performance here. Like, as we have been talking about before, 13-0 in the group stage, and no one actually comes into TI thinking you will win the whole tournament. It's the world's best teams here. You can think that you have a good chance of winning, but actually getting top 3 is such a great achievement, so they should really be happy.
And I'm sure they will be happy, maybe tomorrow. But for now, I'm sure they're super disappointed.
They actually looked quite happy, though. Like, from just coming from that game and like losing and knowing that you're not going to be able to play more here, I think it was looking quite okay.
They were a qualifier
right?
team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, being in that position before, I just feel like watching the grand finals on the sideline, you're so close. You're here today playing on the finals day, and to pass that up is, it's not the most fun experience. But yeah, they did place 3rd, and that's something to be proud of.
Yeah, and especially in terms of their gameplay, because it's one thing to get a good placing in a tournament, and it's another to be able to showcase your skill. I don't know if you guys have ever had the experience of really choking in a bad way during an important match and just, like, it never leaves your mind.
I mean, the game kind of looked like Game 5 in TI3 when we played against Navi. Like, we were behind super much. We almost, like, lost the game, but then after that we were able to actually come back, and it kind of looked like, here, LFY was losing the early game super hard. They were almost able to come back, but they just couldn't do it. So
made for a nice Game 3. I was a little worried the game was going to end in 20 minutes. Yeah. Like, oh, this wasn't that exciting. Yeah. All things got a little spicy.
Yeah, no, I mean, for us, we always have to get ready to come back up to the stage, obviously. And, I mean, we came up and went back and came up and went back several times throughout that match. Like, okay, this has to be it. All right, let's get ready to go. Oh, wow. Wow, LFY swept Team Liquid again. Okay, let's sit back down. Let's continue to watch. Just really remarkable play, which now means that Team Liquid will be in the grand finals. The Chinese teams were extraordinary throughout this entire event. And Team Liquid is the only non-Chinese team to make it in top 4. Is it actually only non-Chinese team in top 6?
I don't know. This is also
looking right now.
This is also Kuroki's 3rd TI Grand Final. He's never won, so this is a huge opportunity for him to really prove himself. I think he's ready.
Kuroki wanting to prove himself, of course. Faith on the side of Newbee has the chance to be the first person ever to win 2 TIs.
And he's in a great position to do it. Newbee looked very impressive yesterday against LFY.
You know, in terms of the fatigue that Team Liquid is going to be facing, we know that they are going to have an extended break. That's part of the reason why we're up here still talking. Hello. You're going to see a lot of us in the next 30 minutes. How do you try to recoup before a series that is this tight? Because we've heard teams again and again say, we're only really focusing on this match, and if we want to worry about the next one, we can't pollute our heads with 2 different drafting strategies. We have to stay focused on this one, and this is the shortest break that a team will ever have at TI between the matches.
He was actually kind of talking about it as well. Kuroki just wanted to get back and prepare for the next game. So I assume they're just going to go and talk with their coach, Heen, who's probably prepared for the next game as well.
Talked to Sebastian yesterday on the panel, and he said the team really prepares for the next match, but he's taking the extra time to prepare for the matches beyond that. So I'm sure Heen's been all over it.
And also that he has actually been in like this position before, like playing a best of 3, I think, to game 3, right, in the Loser Bracket finals, and then having to play this again. So he's had some experience of doing this before, and hopefully he can be able to turn it around this time.
Yeah. When I won TI, we made our run through the lower bracket as well, and I don't know if I really felt that fatigue. I think it's like you almost like build up this certain like adrenaline, and then you just stay amped for the entire series. And then after the end is when you're like, oh, like it hits you, right?
Yeah, I mean,
once you get over like holding the Aegis and things. So I think they'll be fine in terms of fatigue. I think they're really excited to be here. This is, once in a lifetime opportunity.
Well, as they are continuing to prepare for the upcoming grand finals of TI7, I know the fans loved that match. I know the fans love Slacks. Mr. Action Slacks. Yes, they do. They do. Confirmed love for Action Slacks. How are things outside?
Oh, Sean, it's wonderful out here. You don't even need a ticket, right? You got a ticket?
No, I lost mine.
Oh, that's a sad story. But hey, you're out here in the sun enjoying yourself. This is pretty calm, man.
Yeah. I didn't think I'd get enough vitamin D out here, but I'm toasting.
Yeah, I'm toasting too. Thanks for the long intro, Sean. I haven't been outside this long in 3 years. Who do you think's gonna win out here?
Liquid! Woo!
Sir, you having a good time out here outside?
Oh yeah, this is amazing. It's blue, sunny skies. All smog's gone. Oh, it's an amazing day in Seattle.
Fantastic. How about back there? Who are you rooting for in that final?
It's my first time here, so I'm going for Newbee.
Newbee! Give it up! All right, well, the best of 3 is coming up. Freeloaders outside, can we get a little bit of excitement? Let them hear you inside, let's go! Yeah! All right, I'm going back to my nap. Don't bother me, Sean. Thank you.
As you wish, Slacks. We'll give you all the updates. By the way, if any of you do not have a ticket, come over. Come to the Key Arena, because there is an absolutely enormous projector outside. And we were a little worried this morning. It was overcast. We did the opening segment outdoors, and we were all really, really, really cold. And if you want to just come out, it's sunny now. It's beautiful. It's lovely. And if you've never played Dota before, there is the newcomer stream, which is the exact same thing as this. You'll see us. You'll hear the same commentary. You'll see the same camera shots. But we got Tort, Delaney, and friends downstairs who are putting extra informational overlays to clarify what abilities do, what some of the key strategies are, how the teams are adjusting over time. And it's a really great way to start learning pieces of Dota so you can begin to play yourself. And I just have to stress something. It might be real hard to play Dota at a high level, but it is damn easy to have fun without knowing much of anything in that game. Do you remember your first games at Dota?
It was a long time ago. It's a little foggy.
Very foggy. I think I played Anti-Mage probably was my first hero. Safe lane with probably 3 perseverances, maybe 2.
Yeah, man, I can't remember you talking about. You were obsessed with regen.
I was, when I ate like 4 tangos, but I think the first time when I played there wasn't any tangos, so it was just like flasks, if I'm not, or maybe there were tangos, but no one used them, I think, because no one didn't even understand how they worked. But I was playing Slardar, going mid with 3 gauntlets, I think, or 4 gauntlets.
God, so sick.
No regen, just dying straight away, so you get back to the fountain.
Yeah, that's the fastest way to heal, right?
Yeah,
just to respawn.
Yeah, I'm still so grateful to my Dota buddies that I play Dota with almost every single night. When I first started to play, I would do Jungle's Nature's Prophet every game, and they never gave me shit about it once. They would say, all right, well, we have a jungler. Let's talk about the other lanes.
Yeah, Dota's such a friendly game. Everyone just gets along all the time. Everyone's so nice.
Yeah, how many of you out there are really nice in all your games of Dota?
Just me? Yeah, that's probably
tens of people outside.
I'll step down for Quinn. We needed him up here.
Yeah.
Perfect for this. Perfect.
Now, the International has been going on for 7 years now, and let us not forget what the roots are. Let's take a look back at TI1.
First thing, all the games are final. If there's a bug in a match, we're going to play. We won't go back for a bug. It's just part of the game. Geometry site does not reveal wards. Okay? So keep that in mind. You guys probably does not reveal wards. It's a bug.
We heard that there are going to be some tournament for a huge amount of money.
当时听说有个 TI1 的比赛嘛，就相当于玩一个 Dota 1的加强版 Dota 2嘛。
I think I got the beta key first time somewhere 2 weeks before the first international, maybe 3.
Well, the first moment in which I loaded up Dota 2 was actually a complete disaster.
It was a very mixed feeling for me, at least. This looks great, but I actually don't understand what's happening at all.
Maybe one guy liked it. I thought it was pretty cool, but everybody was just like, what the fuck is this?
The initial reaction, not just for myself, it was just like, this isn't Dota.
I played Dota 1 for 5 years or whatever, and I loved the game completely. Mechanics and how you move around and stuff.
6 years ago, we just played Dota 1 all day at that time.
Some things were so bad about Dota 1, but we got so used to it that it felt natural. Changes to something that's really important to you is always hard to welcome, not in the sense that you look at it in a bad way, but you know, it's like everything's gonna change. 1 week after, even maybe 2 days after, you're gonna look back and be like, I was so stupid to even hesitate.
TI was on such short notice, hey, we're gonna make a tournament, $1 million. We were like, okay. It's like, is this real?
Prior to the event, I think was it DK, they declined an invite because they didn't believe it was true. A lot of the pros at the time, when they transitioned, they're like, oh, well, we'll just do it this one time. It's a lot of money involved and just go back to Dota 1.
I thought it was a little ridiculous, to be honest with you, for playing for $1 million. That was like by far the highest paying prize pool of any Dota tournament.
What do you think of Dota 2 so far?
I'm just waiting for it to be finished because, you know, all the little bugs and tweaks and I guess some of the animations aren't complete.
Yeah. I think everyone kind of understood and accepted that no one was going to be ready.
We just went with it. We accepted the fact that this is the game now.
当时我们去打 TI1 的比赛的时候，然后我队友他连就是装备都怎么买都不知道，然后就很尴尬。
We took it very seriously. During that time, we wanted to be the best team regardless. We didn't even want to lose anything that was, let's say, fake. We didn't care.
Navi, they had a set number of heroes, maybe 10, 15 heroes that they played throughout the tournament.
And we were choosing them by attack animation. We were thinking, okay, those guys, they have some broken attack animation. Let's choose them.
We really never played in booths like that. We abused the booths. Dendi was just jumping up and like, screwing around with people every time the first blood happened or something like that. Tagil, you do this. Tagil!
Tagil! We were like not realizing that we actually played for this amount of money. We were just playing and having fun. We were so confident. I remember we were so confident that we're going to win because I joined the game and I feel so free.
When the first international ended and we saw the whole spectacle surrounding it, Everyone knew that this was something that was going to come long term, and other tournament organizers immediately jumped on it and wanted to run this game.
Esports definitely grew a lot the next coming years after that, more than it did prior to it. As much as people dislike the changes in the beginning, they're all for the better, and I think Dota now is better than it's ever been.
It just felt like this is going to be the future. You know, it set a message. This is what esports is going to be.
Can't be understated how huge of an impact the emergence of the international has had on the entire esports ecosystem. I mean, at that time, first places that were huge were like $20,000.
Or even less. I think there were like most of the Dota tournaments was like $8,000 or $6,000 or something.
Yeah.
Or in the beginning, I think when I played DreamHack the first time, I won. I think it was $500, and then we split it on 5 people, and I was super happy. It's like,
yeah, it wasn't that long ago where our people salaries weren't even a thing.
Yeah.
It was so. I mean, I was paying for my own flights to go to tournaments and bunking up with other people in their hotel rooms because there just was no money to be spread around.
Yeah, it was crazy. My salary in Brood War was $80 every other month. Yeah, it was hype. It was super cool. I didn't even know what to do with it.
But it was consistent, and you could budget around it, right?
Yeah, it was actually really nice.
Meal
RS
plan.
Gaming. But I mean, also there was a lot of instability in the early days of esports where tournaments would come and go, and there would sometimes be winners of tournaments, and they'd just never be paid, and the tournament would disappear forever. And then the international comes along, and Valve is, you know, a really robust company, just throws down $1 million. It was just like, all right, 5,000, 10,000, and then 1.6 million for TI1.
It's just like set a nice standard for other tournaments. I think before that, like no one else was even close to that. But after that, other tournaments and other games actually started to match it a bit. So it's just have like helped the whole gaming community and like esports in a whole. It's just not Dota. It's like helping everyone. So
it spurred the development of Dota 2 as well. When we played at the start, it was terrible. It was awful. We were like, oh man, this is really hard to play, and everything was clunky. You just couldn't get used to everything. It just looked completely different. And we had been playing Warcraft 3 forever, and you just like, I don't really know if I like this new version. But then, because they had so many people playing it, they could fix all the bugs. They had a lot of testers. It was great after that.
Yeah, now you have like Dota Reborn and patch 7.0. You got Monkey King. 2 more heroes are coming. Things continue to get better in Dota 2. And of course, Casey, talk to us a little bit about your TI experience.
Hello. Well, my TI experience began many moons ago. What? Did I hear one woo? We can do better than that for you guys. Yes. So, because it's just me, who cares about me? I've gathered a bunch of people who have been to multiple TIs who can help us with our nostalgia. How many have you been to? 4. And what is the most memorable moment about TI thus far?
This one?
Any of them.
Any of them, EG winning, obviously.
Yep. What about you? How many have you been to?
3.
3. And how do you think they've changed over the years?
All rosters, people keep moving around everywhere, and it's really hard to support a single team.
Yeah.
So I support people, and I support Puppy.
You support Puppy?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well done. How many have you been to?
One time.
First time, yeah.
4 times.
4 times. And how have you seen kind of the evolution of TI over the years as far as the fellow fans, players, that sort of thing?
A lot more hype in the crowd. The stage changed to be much more interactive and exciting. And it's just really fun to watch just all the teams change, rosters change, and always that underdog story such as Liquid right now.
Constant evolution. Who else has been to multiple TIs? How many?
I've been to 2. This is my second in a row.
Okay, and how has it evolved just in the last year?
Oh my God. First of all, EG EHOME Game 1 last year was insane. And like this year, it's just like the meta is nothing. Like it doesn't exist anymore. We're at like what, 108 heroes pick now or something like that. I love it. Like I continue to play the game, and this is just excites me for future ones.
What about you?
I've been to 2 TIs. Yeah, I haven't been to very many other than...
2's better than none?
Yeah, 2 is better than none. Easily the best part was those games played just now. Those were extremely hype. Everyone was chanting. I was excited. It was incredible.
After what we just saw this morning, can you guys imagine what we're in for in the grand final? I mean, come on! I think now's the time to show Myron's face to the world. You guys ready to see Myron? I'm gonna give you the microphone. This is Myron's moment.
As you can see, I'm with child as well.
Hey, no, not fair. Myron, 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 Myron. All right, Myron, can you send it back to the analyst?
By the way, this guy's name is Myron too.
Hey guys.
We got 2 Myrons.
Thank you, Myrons.
Back to you.
And back to you.
Thank you, Myron and Myron. 2 out of 2 Myrons agree that TI7 is sick. And I got to be honest with you. The hype here is so amazing. The roar of the crowd is so unbelievable. Everyone here is so hyped. And I'm actually really amazed at how everyone's also really articulate on a microphone. I was not that way the first time I picked up a microphone.
We've had a couple exceptions so far this TI.
Oh, man. The final match will be getting set up shortly. And if you've never gotten the chance to see one, it is a treat. Let's take a look back at what it is like to even play in a final at TI.
I think for any team that is in the finals, that's just 100% focus. You know that you're the 2 best teams in the world. Either of you could win. It's a very weird feeling. It feels like you need to win this with all your soul and body and mind. You know, like everything that you've achieved in Dota and that you've done in Dota has built up until this moment.
Some people maybe feel pressured. Crowd was always very friendly to us. The crowd would help us a lot. Big scene is good for us, but for someone else, I don't know, it's different.
50,000, 500,000, 2 million people are watching, like, okay, that's great. It's a lot of pressure. Playing with thousands of spectators watching you, you're more prone to make mistakes because you're thinking about it more. Just keep your cool and not let any distractions such as the crowd or, you know, the pressure get to you. Guarantee you someone else on the other team will let it get to them, so if you're able to keep your cool, you're probably going to win.
Dota is a sick mental game. It brings out the best and worst in you. Who ended up winning the mental warfare always won the series. That's how you're going to win tournaments. That's how you win the tournament. And, if you break the other mind, it gets really easy. Some minds are really hard to beat though.
Well, at TI5, I had no anxiety. Like, I was totally comfortable in my own skin, and I think that I played really well, and everything was great. But then I go to the Summit 4, you know, it's a $100,000 tournament versus this $18 million tournament. I'm sitting there in the finals, down 0-2 against VP, and I'm just like having trouble breathing. It's weird like that, and you don't know when anxiety is gonna hit you. If you're freaking out, you know, somebody else is probably freaking out too.
Just a screw up in the game. You made a mistake in the game, and that's why you lost. Those things can happen, but those things should not eat you. Sadly, a lot of people end up thinking about their loss a lot because they could have done better.
To lose in finals, just one step before winning, it's hit you much harder.
输了以后，第一个感觉就是我很对不起所有的粉丝，因为他们一直以来都很支持我，尤其是在场所有的观众也是在呼喊着我的名字，所以我觉得很对不起他们。然后过后我很伤心，然后我就出去躲在厕所啊，出去啊，一直流眼泪，就很久才能平复下我的心情。
It doesn't matter if we lose or not. Just those words reminds us of what we've done and that we don't need to be afraid of losing. It sounds like maybe not a winning mentality, but I think it's opposite. You remove the fear of losing, so you would not be afraid to do risks, which can be very necessary in these games.
I hadn't won a lot in my career up until, you know, pre-TI4, but then after we started winning, it was a different kind of scene for me. You got more fans, you got more prestige, everything changes when you start winning.
Things just worked out for us, and TI5 was our tournament to win. That was one of 2 tournaments we won throughout that entire year, and it was the big one.
觉得自己这是真的吗？就是我当时拿完冠军第一时间就问自己这是真的吗？也没有一些很高兴的一些反应，然后觉得后面确定自己不是在做梦，然后就非常的兴奋吧。
就是如果我会给一个没有打过 TI 决赛的人的意见的话，就是当你打 TI 决赛的时候，就那几个小时，希望可以好好的珍惜，因为时间过得很快，一下子就会过去，然后你会很后悔当时没有好好的享受。
The strongest players doesn't win, it's the strongest team that wins. And it's almost always like that. If you don't perform every second of your games, you might lose to a team that's actually not better than you, but they're just hungrier.
I don't think any Dota player will go into these games and crumble under pressure. This is when you get your strongest. This is when it's going to be the hardest to break you. I strongly believe that if I woke up a morning and I had to play the TI final, I would play the best Dota of my life. And that's all that would matter to me. If I played my very best, nothing else would matter.
Pressure is on going into this final match. You know, PPDake, I know you both played TI finals. I'm curious, did you have mistakes that you made in there that felt very uncharacteristic for your normal play?
We had a lot of mistakes in the game 5 when we played. We were diving towers and dying heroes. We were not communicating as good. We were buying back and dying again. But I think Navi was also making mistakes, and it just comes down to that. It's game 5, both like very, very tired, and so we were kind of choking in a way. It's like, for us, it was the opposite of what No-Tail was saying, that we would play our best. I think we play one of our worst games there, but at the same time, we were able to keep kind of calm and find ways to win the game, like even though we were behind so much. So in that sense, maybe it was one of our best games, but it's like very, very hard. I mean, the other 4 games that we played, I think we played super well, so it was a bit up and down.
It's equal footing, right? Like, it's an incredibly stressful environment, especially in a game 5 that's so close. It's people are going to make mistakes. That's just what happens. That's Dota. Nobody plays a perfect game. It's about making as little mistakes as possible and capitalizing on your opponent's mistakes when possible.
There's always a lot of comments that I see in interviews where players, they get out of games and so consistently they'll say, I wish I could play as good on stage as I do in my practice games.
It's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
And TI is a totally different thing than every other tournament throughout the year. What you feel inside, people say, oh, you know, it's just another tournament. I know I quoted that, you know, it's just another tournament as well, but it's a certain different kind of pressure. And it's hard to describe for me. I just feel anxious, I guess.
You're feeling the stress right now?
No, I mean, not right now. I'm just excited for a great final. But this is such a huge stage. I know I was, you know, a little nervous getting up here at the very beginning, but I feel like I've gotten comfortable up here with you guys.
Do you guys vividly remember each game, or is it all just like one big blurry haze that erupted into winning?
I remember the finals for sure, like each and every game, I think.
I just remember a couple of things like that. We had Batrider make some mistakes, like in that game where we had Laundry as well, and that we picked NS mid as well. We was kind of not a common mid hero, but we were just like, oh, we can go NS mid, it can be nice. And then we actually won the game with it. And of course, the game 5.
S4 was a beast that game.
It was.
And now it is time to begin to talk about the 2 teams that will be in the grand final. It's Newbee and Team Liquid. We want to start with Newbee. They were an invited team. They did very well in their groups, advancing to the winner's bracket, where they have just claimed consecutive wins to be the only grand finalist now that is currently undefeated in best of 3s. Let's take a look at their road to the finals.
One of 6 direct invites to the International 2017, Newbee entered the tournament with a chance to be the first organization to claim a second Aegis of Champions, having already won the ultimate prize at TI4. In the group stage, Newbee took wins off of every Group B team except for a 0-2 set against LFY, scoring 2-0 victories over Cloud9, Execration, Hellraisers, and DC, and drawing 1-1 versus IG, OG, and VP. When the group play dust settled, Newbee had secured an 11-5 record, good for second in a strong Group B. In the main event, Newbee would first face the 2015 international champions and consistent powerhouse, Evil Geniuses, in the upper bracket quarterfinals.
Newbee and EG are two names in Dota that have stood the test of time. It's time to see who will come out on top.
Playing against the North American favorites, who many believed had a strong chance to win another Aegis, Newbee looked strong from the start.
EG then knocking on the doorstep of Newbee, pushing down the middle lane.
Do they actually have the damage to finish him off? Zai comes in with the epicenter.
He's downed him. Oh, he saves him. Oh my God!
It keeps KP alive. Beautiful play from Kunkka. He managed to save him. There's the second of Black Hole, but Universe is down. They've lost two. Sonic Wave flies through from SCC. EG are all dead.
Ultimately dropping EG into the lower bracket with a 2-0 series victory, earning a berth in the upper bracket semi-finals and a matchup against a strong Invictus Gaming squad, fresh off their own impressive victory over Team Liquid.
Who's going to take it? Who's going to stay in this upper bracket? They're ready to run in and go. SCC zips in immediately, looking for Birdie. Possibly getting grabs Birdie back. Smashes one. Birdie getting bursted down low. The cold embrace is there for Q. That's burning down for 50 seconds.
Oh my
They've lost
God.
3 as Newbee just move in. There, SCC on the storm. Again, these final picks of the drafts doing everything. Newbee take the series. They'll be moving on.
Having secured a spot in the upper bracket finals, Newbee's next challenge would come against the only team they hadn't defeated in the group stage, LFY.
It is the winners bracket final to determine who will be the first finalist of TI7 between Newbee and LFY.
And now, though, Mugi on the sidelines drops the Rupture. KP with the Berserker's call.
The Chain Frost again.
Again, indeed. This Frost making them split up. Newbee are forced back.
Despite falling into an early deficit, Newbee used a masterful series of teamfights to turn the table on LFY.
Newbee gaining a good grip on this game. 14,000 net worth lead now. Super jumping from KP, does get the grab onto the Night Stalker, dragging in Flame in. He turns,
and they call it.
EG is called. It is over.
Wow.
Wow, Newbee. What a game one.
Handing LFY their first defeat on the main stage. LFY would punch back in Game 2 to even the series, but Newbee rode SCCC's Shadow Fiend and Mugi's Bloodseeker to slowly starve LFY out in Game 3.
Gonna get out, or is he? The Linkers is there, the silence wears off, but the glimpse is there!
And they call GG!
Newbee are your first grand finalists here, the International 2017!
Securing a spot in the grand finals. Newbee's lineup of 2014 claimed the ultimate prize. But this is a squad of new players eager to claim the Aegis and forge their own legacy. They now match up against a surging Team Liquid squad who hope to deny the possibility that one organization or player might claim a second Aegis.
Newbee has been looking dominating throughout this entire event, and I want to talk a little bit about, in their path to the finals, we've seen them consistently rely on Earth Spirit and Bloodseeker. Are these the two key bans against Newbee?
I'm not too sold on that. I think KuroKy will have his own unique perspective on this game. I think that Newbee's had a lot of time to watch Liquid, not only last night, but this morning as well. And I think that their Game 1 draft, I think they're going to come out really on top of it, kind of like LFY did. But I think KuroKy probably, at least in my opinion, the smartest and like best strategist and drafter here. I think that he'll adapt pretty quickly to what Newbee throws at them.
And, you know, it's kind of funny when I look back at, you know, their games against Evil Geniuses where they did pull very sick Bloodseeker and Earth Spirit combos in that game, but I feel like so many eyes were on EG in that match that Newbee almost got overlooked since there was so much hype around EG.
We've seen very little of Newbee. Coming through the winners bracket, they play they play not that many matches. You know, we've seen Liquid every day, sometimes twice in a day, because they've had to battle through the lower bracket the entire time. But Newbee, not very many replays to watch. They've only done, and they've been sticking to what's working. So
we're gonna see though, like if it actually helped Liquid to play these games.
It definitely will. I think the momentum.
Coming up with like new strats, and because before they were relying a lot on the GH Coddle and GH Shaker. Now they might be getting something new, like he was playing Rubik amazingly like these games as well. And as I said, Newbee hasn't been playing so many games, so
Liquid has been constantly challenged through the lower bracket. Everybody kind of knows, these are the heroes they pick, this is how they play.
Yeah.
How are you going to beat that? And a lot of people have tried, but Liquid's adapted. This is, they've done a bunch of like 3-game series. They've lost the first game a couple of different times to Secret, to sorry, I think no, they were 2 at LGD, but they lost to Secret, and then sorry, I'm blanking. Who did they just play? Anyways, lots of 3-game series where they lose the first one and they come back and win 2-0. They adapt incredibly well, and I feel like maybe we'll see similar things, but I don't know, Newbee might be a little bit different than everybody else.
Newbee have a lot of experience on the supports too. They have Kunkka and Faith. Kunkka went pretty deep with EHOME last year and didn't go all the way, and then Faith's been playing competitively in the Chinese scene forever. So
yeah, I mean, I want to ask you, if you're Newbee, what do you think is going to be their big focus going into this match? We've talked a lot about SCCC. We've talked a lot about Faith and Kunkka.
Not getting outdrafted, I would say, is actually the most difficult thing against Liquid. We've constantly talked about GH, but it's actually been like Matama Man and then now Miracle that's been stealing the show on these different heroes that we haven't seen too much. We didn't think that they play so much Alchemist. We didn't think that they pick Venomancer a lot. This Nature's Prophet hero who just constantly just is ridiculous and might warrant a first phase ban. Like there's all these different things that you need to worry about in this finals. It's completely different than any other matchup that they faced.
For me, Nature's Prophet is exactly that defines Team Liquid's play style. Mind Control excels incredibly well in that split push style, being able to play incredibly fast, teleporting throughout the map, taking early towers. It's just the theme of Liquid and when they find success. So I would really look out for that hero. I'm not sure how they're going to deal with it.
It just feels like that they have too many heroes to ban. There's Huskar, there's Alchemist, there's Brew, there's Coddle, Wisp, the Prophet.
Shaker, maybe.
Shaker, yeah. There's Necrophos.
Yes, Necrophos.
Venomancer, if I didn't say that. It's like so many heroes that you actually feel like you don't want to give them.
Yeah, but LFY in that game 1 earlier today really brought them out of that comfort zone. We saw in game 1 it was a little bit different. Mind Control was playing Earthshaker, they had GH on the Coddle, but it wasn't the typical Liquid lineup that we saw in games 2 and 3. So it'd be interesting to see how Liquid has learned from that game 1 and whether or not Newbee will challenge them again in the draft.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. Teams have talked about this before. You have to bring your own style because Team Liquid, with their own styles, with Broodmother, with Huskar, it makes everyone aware that they need to use these as bans. But then there's the heroes that are emerging in the meta that are becoming extremely popular. You got to worry about Nature's Prophet. You have to worry about Earthshaker. And I want to ask Merlini, what are the heroes that are the notable ones on the Newbee side? Because we have so many ones that are big names for Team Liquid.
Firstly, I think they need to not overrate the Bloodseeker. I think Bloodseeker showed a lot of weakness in the last series, and they need to be careful not to first phase it, especially. We haven't seen that many games from them. We saw Shadow Fiend, but I think that was a very specific hero for that specific game. I think Clinks, we haven't seen too much. That LFY actually used a great success, could be a pretty good hero invading Liquid's jungle, which they like to farm very heavily, and dealing with these split pushers. Nyx Assassin, which I think was ignored in a couple of the games, could also be amazing.
Sand King is also the hero that Kunkka has been playing the most, and it's kind of good at dealing with like Prophet's split push, so it can be away from them to being able to deal with it.
Well, as it is now time to get ready for the finals, it is important that we set the tone. So let's go to the Valve Orchestra and Critical Hit for a special performance. Only one best-of-5 remain. Only 2 teams remain. Newbee and Team Liquid. An absolute stunning series of matches have led us to this moment in time. And let's give another round of applause for that amazing performance, setting everyone in just the right mood. Nice modest clapping. That's right, we can't get that picked up on the microphone. Now, we've talked a little bit about Newbee. We've talked about their road to get here. Let's talk Team Liquid. They have had a very interesting journey through this tournament, going straight to lowers from the beginning and slowly grinding their way forward.
After the group stage was finished, everyone's thinking, oh, Liquid is super strong. They placed first. Then they lose the first round. It's like, oh, maybe it's the other group that's so much stronger. But now they actually made it this far to the grand finals. So it wasn't Group B who was the strongest group. Well, maybe it was, but
Group B had quite a few teams up there. But yeah, I don't know if it's the groups that much. Liquid have made a really solid run in the lower bracket. It's been very impressive to watch.
No matter what group was the strongest, we now have the 2 best teams at the tournament competing for the ultimate prize.
Certainly feels like it. And I mean, if we look especially at the strategic drafting of Kuroki, we see some themes continuing to merge again and again, but also some flexibility in terms of their most picked heroes. We've seen Coddle, Keeper of the Light, picked the most of anyone. I believe he is 6-2 or 4-2 with Coddle. Earthshaker, also very, very popular pick for Team Liquid.
Yep, can't ban them all, so teams have been kind of weighing their options and deciding, hey, which one of these heroes do we want to try and play against?
They've been trying everything and failed in almost every way to stop them.
Yep, in a lot of games, Coddle actually having 2 losses, which is a bit surprising. I don't think I would have guessed that coming into this tournament, but you see the Venomancer being undefeated. I think their Necrophos stats as well are remarkable.
The Lycan ones as well.
I feel like Venomancer kind of slipped under my radar because there's so much discussion about Huskar and Broodmother. There's so much discussion about Wisp and Coddle.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Wisp as well. We haven't even
seen it.
That one's. I don't know if that's actually gonna be. Yeah, I think it might just be autoban even in the series.
Well, talk to me about Venomancer. What's making it so successful?
He had a lot of hype coming into the tournament. People were looking at him as a core position. Originally, he was a support. Now with the talents and kind of the meta shift a little bit, he's found his way as a safe lane carry. A lot of mid players are playing more of the carry, and he kind of is a good secondary backup carry. Lots of magic damage. Ultimate going through BKB.
I think Veno is a hero that suits Liquid very well. It's one of those heroes that it gives you vision. It creates a lot of pressure early on, so to make space a bit for Miracle and also maybe for mind control sometimes. He's that kind of hero that he just goes and pushes a lane, and if he gets ganked, he just pops ult. He throws down a couple snakes, tries to take some people down with him, and he's just making space and creating the winning condition for kind of Miracle or whoever else is on the team.
They do seem to like just trying as hard as they can to dominate lanes early in almost all their picks.
And from that point, then Venomancer is one of the best picks. There are actually a lot of offlane heroes who can't even go up to the lane because of the slow, and he actually does quite well against most of the off-laners. So it's a very stable pick, and he can even go mid as well. So it's just suits him better.
Yeah.
He wins a lot of lanes. There's not many lanes that Venomancer loses. Yeah. You put him in the safe lane, you hit Gale on melee hero, ranged hero, whoever it might be, 1 stun to follow up, that's a guaranteed kill.
A lose for him is an even lane, kinda.
Yeah, he should be winning. That's why you pick him to dominate. If it's an even matchup, then you're like, oh, maybe we didn't get enough out of this pick.
Yeah, the one thing that we haven't really seen is people kind of go offensive against that Venomancer. There haven't been that many teams trying to, punish the Veno early in the lane.
It's quite scary as well, because Venomancer can be very good in a tri lane, I think,
yeah,
at least.
It's like a 2-man Gale. Those 2 heroes are done for. 3 heroes right-clicking.
But it could be a very good way to actually not let him get these levels early on and shut him down in that way, so you don't feel that you have to kill him, but you can just make everyone be there and just soak up the experience.
Purge was talking about Venomous Gale being one of the highest magic damage spells. I think level 4 was 600 magic damage over time.
Which is an insane amount early on.
It's too much damage for anybody to deal with. We've seen a lot of Venomancers, especially in the core position, when they're being prioritized on levels, they've been skipping the Plague Wards and actually putting points into Gale to have that early game impact so people don't mess with them.
I wonder if you can talk to me a little bit about what we've seen Team Liquid stop doing, because, from a really basic perspective, they seem to be doing better and better and better in their games the closer they get to the grand finals.
Yep, I think they stopped putting mind control on initiators. I think what did you play in that first game? It was the Earthshaker. I don't think that worked well at all for them.
Yeah.
I think they need to treat him like more of a position, like more priority. You know, like I was saying earlier, KuroKy plays on a team with 4 core players. GH, like super high MMR. He's a support player, but he's not really a support player.
He's not just
4 cores,
making
man.
plays like every time he's getting in these fissures. It's like it's like something that like everyone does, but he does it. He just does it again and again and again, like constantly. Every time he can get the DP ultimate, the fissures, and
that's something that's really important, is the balance between your 4 and 5 player, because you need your supports to still be like their little team. You know, they have to fill the role of support. You have to help your cores. But KuroKy has figured out how to adapt his play style around his 4 core teammates and play like an incredibly hard position 5. So we'll see KuroKy, very low on net worth, I think, in every single game.
And levels as well. I think this last game he was level 3 when GH was level 6, and it was like 14 minutes in when he wasn't even level like 6 yet. So.
Yeah, he was super far behind. But GH was really farmed. GH was very high level, and GH, he delivers. It's like you put all this farm and levels on him, and he comes through. He makes plays and he wins you games.
Yeah, it's one of the big things that it's been really fun to watch GH there playing Coddle. Like, get the double Coddle up there. I mean, he goes to the jungle and spends quite a while farming, between 10 and 15 minutes. I mean, he's not AFK, just leaving his lanes to be, but he is doing far more jungling than we typically see out of a usual roaming or position 5 support.
In that game 1 we saw against LFY, we had the Puck and Lifestealer combo. Inflame on the Puck, constantly just hunting. He went through the jungle over and over and killed Coddle time and time again, and that's when LFI won that game. It's you attack GH and you limit his skill set and items and farm.
And that is where they need like this kind of hero as a prophet who actually opens up the map, scouting.
Yep.
Because now they had a Shaker who kind of wants to farm this dagger as well. And
yes.
And I think it's for Newbee. I think it's very important to have heroes kind of with wave clear that can clear waves fast, or they need to have some sort of saving supports, because you want to be able to shove those lanes fast and not get jumped by, say, a Shaker or something.
Yeah.
Or you want to have summons.
What do you guys think is the solution to how fast Liquid is playing? Like, what kind of mindset should Newbee have coming into this series?
I think, as Pika said, to be able to clear these waves, because that is what Prophet is doing right, is pushing in the lane, so be able to push them out fast, and then being able to fast catch someone else, like on the other side of the map where you can join as well. So maybe Batrider could really work for them. Again, they played it this last game, right?
Yeah. Well, you said, who did you say?
Oh no, yeah, it was LFY who played
LFY.
it. Yeah.
That Batrider did a lot of work. Against
exactly.
Liquid's lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Inflame is a really inspiring example of how to deal with a lot of the stuff that we've been seeing out of mind control. I mean, he's just so good at just bombing into the far side forests of the map and spotting mind control, spotting, Lone Druid that we saw in game 1.
He knows what it takes to win.
Spearbreaker is another hero that could be kind of good against this type of stuff.
Yeah.
I feel. If they pick this a lot of Prophets, and then this Spearbreaker is always one of those heroes that if you ever see him.
I'm excited to see what they come up with. They got to have something cooked up for this grand final.
Well, the teams are no longer on break. The teams are ready to come out. So, ladies and gentlemen, Team Liquid fans, Newbee fans, get ready to make some noise, because our first team is about to head to the main stage. Join me in welcoming, from China, Newbee! An all-star lineup for Newbee that has been performing amazingly at this tournament, winning out on their way to the grand finals with extraordinary play from really all their positions. Faith, Kunkka, doing beautiful supporting duties. The Bloodseeker plus Earth Spirit combo locked in every single game in the winners bracket finals. Going against them will be a team that has secured 5 wins in a row in the lower bracket. They're no strangers to esports. They are Team Liquid. Team Liquid, not just a legendary name in Dota, but a legendary name in esports, from Brood War to StarCraft 2 to Smash Melee. They've got it all. Community sites, some of the greatest articles in the entire internet written by the Team Liquid teams. And the one thing that has eluded them, the Aegis for their own.
It's going to be epic, like either way, how this goes. If Newbee wins, it's going to be Newbee who gets the Aegis twice, like the organization, as well as Faith winning twice. And if Liquid wins, it's just going to be they just have had an amazing run in this like lower bracket, and then actually made it to the lower bracket finals, to the grand finals, and actually win the whole thing. So
Newbee's up against a lot of superstitions, right? Faith being the two-time champ. Also, this is kind of the West turn to win, right? Wings won last year, and we always take turns. You know, we like to share the wealth.
Yeah, for any of you who don't know, it has been an exchange of championships from Western teams to Eastern teams, alternating back and forth without fail. This would be the first time that a region has won 2 times in a row should Newbee secure the win here.
From the winner's bracket, they're in a great position to do so.
Yeah.
They'll have selection priority, I believe, in games 1, 3, and 5.
That's correct.
Potentially taking away that first pick from Team Liquid.
Yeah, and they also got to study Liquid this morning.
Many games as well.
These guys played each other in the winner's bracket, correct? So they know quite a bit about each other.
You know, Liquid played against IG in the winner's bracket.
Liquid was Invictus 1-2.
So they haven't played against each other.
That's right.
Well, there we go.
First time for everything.
Same as the last series, and that last series was amazing. So
now, for any of you who don't know, haven't seen a TI before, going into the grand finals in other double elimination brackets, the losing team has to win 2 times. That's not the case here at TI. It's just a single best of 5 to decide it all. But as PPD brought up, there is the advantage, the pick advantage given in games 1, 3, and 5 to the team coming from winners. That will be Newbee. It'll be interesting to see how they try to exploit that advantage going into this series.
Yeah, I guess like for people who don't know what pick advantage means, it means they'll have the opportunity to choose either first pick, second pick, Radiant, or Dire, whatever they prefer in any of those games, and they'll have to draft and strategize around that.
What would you prefer?
It's tough. Team Liquid's been really great at abusing last pick, which is the team that has second pick. I don't think the sides, Radiant and Dire, I think, are
It's been very, very
well
even.
matched.
So I actually think that most teams have prioritized choosing either first pick or second pick, depending on if they really want to first pick a hero or being able to take this last pick.
Do you think Liquid cares so much about having Kato, Wisp, or Shaker that they would prioritize first pick?
I think Liquid would like first pick just so they can ban whatever they want, and the opponents feel that they have to ban something.
They've also been really comfortable last picking, even with the other team having last pick. They'll pick Broodmother, they'll pick Alchemist. They're not really afraid of... I guess they've been banning and drafting smart around that pick, even like with the other team having that last pick. They're not afraid of it.
It's kind of crazy to see how versatile the drafting has looked. There were absolutely some weak drafts out of Kuroki throughout the lower bracket run, but I just want to repeat out loud who they've gone through. 2-1 against Secret, 2-0 against Empire, 2-1 against Virtus Pro, 2-0 against LGD, and now 2-1 against LFY in order to go up against Newbee. Only DC was the other team able to eliminate a Chinese team. I mean, Team Liquid has really had a lot of games under their belt on the main stage.
Impressive.
Those 2-1s were so close. So close. So close. Like, the amount I've continued to like doubt Liquid in all these series. I'm like, okay, game 3, all right, looks like Liquid's getting eliminated, and then out of nowhere, they're just winning.
Yeah, let's not forget the 103-minute game 1 they played against Virtus Pro.
Yeah, I thought Virtus Pro had that series as well.
Yeah, for sure, Dan. I think this the Liquid run is actually a bit similar to the DC run last year. I mean, although Liquid were much more favored to do very well in this year than DC was.
Much bigger underdogs.
Yeah, much bigger underdogs, but the run from the lower bracket, it's been looking kind of the same.
So you're saying that Liquid is going to lose?
You know, it's different, right? Because they're expected to do well, so it's still different.
Is Newbee on Wings level?
I don't think that... I personally don't feel like Newbee is at a Wings level. Like, Wings last year felt like they were...
Untouchable.
Untouchables, like stronger than Newbee this year. And I do feel like Liquid really has a lot of momentum going into this game.
I think comparing Newbee to Wings is like... Wings could play like anything, right? They could pick anything and they could play good with it. I think Newbee is just a very stable team. They really know how to team fight. So even though they are behind in the early game, they can team fight their way back. But usually they like don't even lose the early game. They're super good at getting the right lanes they need, seeing like what items they need to take fights. So I think that's
important. We've seen Liquid really do well in the late game with the like split push meta, but their early game has been really, really good for me. If Newbee can come out with a good early game and not get totally run over in their lanes, I think they're in a really great position to take the series.
What are the heroes that they need to do that?
I mean, that's
like,
their job, not mine.
But I think they will just need to pick like strong early laning heroes and not like morphling. We could see the morphling this like last game. He's like one of the weakest heroes during the laning phase, and they exploited it like straight away.
We haven't seen a lot of morphling. We've seen it with Lich and sometimes with Wisp
and
as
mid,
well.
right?
Yes, exactly. And that's when the hero gets all the help that it needs to have a decent early game. That was the last game where they took the 2-minute tower. Morphling was just watching watching Liquid just ruin his lane. There's nothing you could do about it.
Bloodseeker is one of the heroes that's been favored by Newbee a lot recently, and it's also a strong laner, very strong. He can kind of set you up for that early game. You have a few heroes who fight on different lanes, and then you just use this Bloodseeker to win lanes. I think that's something that Newbee might want to do.
Now, before we get into this match, if any of you have not yet got the chance to see and experience the amazing things that Team Liquid have done, let's look at their run to get here to the finals.
Earning one of 6 direct invites to the International 2017, Team Liquid entered this year's tournament with high hopes built upon a strong track record at recent events. In the group stage, they showed their promise.
Kuroki holds back the Sven, jump forward from GH, definitely blast flies through, no buyback on the Sven. As the rest of Liquid turn towards the Ancient, GG is called. It's finally over as Liquid close it up.
Taking 2-0 victories off of IG Vitality, Fnatic, Infamous, Team Empire and Team Secret, while splitting 1-1 series with EG, LGD and TNC to finish a Group A best record of 13-3.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live here from the floor of Key Arena.
On the main stage, however, they stumbled to a 1-2 loss at the hands of Invictus Gaming in the upper bracket quarterfinals.
The Quills are stacking up, but Boboka continues to rampage through Liquid. IG dominant to open up TI. Game 3 awaits. The crush is timely. Kuro's in trouble, being kited. XXS puts a dagger through the heart of Liquid. Invictus Gaming absolutely slaughtering Liquid, and top 6 is theirs.
Dropping them into the lower bracket and the prospects of a do-or-die run through a string of elimination series. The first must-win test would come against Team Secret, who quickly secured a 1-0 edge and looked likely to win a second game as they leapt to an early advantage.
6-0. Puppey has been in every single kill. Liquid 1 racks away from being megaed at 27 minutes.
But Liquid had other plans. After forcing a turnaround in Game 2, they rode an unkillable Troll Warlord and Deadly Necrophos to sure victory in Game 3, sending Secret packing.
Kuro versus Puppey. Game 3. Puppey
charge, go for the steal. Who's going to get the Aegis?
The Roche, but Miracle snatches the Aegis away.
GG.
Done it.
Next up would come Team Empire, riding high off their upset 2-0 elimination of NA favourites and TI5 champions EG. Empire's dreams of a repeat upset were crushed, however, as Liquid swept the series 2-0 to guarantee a top 6 finish and eliminate a second team from the tournament. Another CIS team and direct invite, Virtus.pro awaited in the next round, looking to re-establish themselves after a 0-2 loss to LFY in the upper bracket. What would follow would be one of the most intense matchups of the tournament, as each team fought without pause for 103 minutes, with Liquid pulling out eventual victory in the longest game of the main event.
Will fly through and kills off the Nyx Assassin. Our first kill in 20 minutes, and Bloodseeker dies right now. It could be they thought they had it, and yeah, 103 minutes. It has been a marathon.
Game 3 would strike a similar tone as the first, as each team used amazing teamfight coordination and execution to push each other to the brink. Ultimately, Liquid would prevail, eliminating Virtus.pro and securing their place in the top 4. There, Liquid would face an LGD team that had easily eliminated a strong IG squad earlier in the same day, with the winner assured a top 3 finish. Despite some clutch LGD plays, Liquid's Morphling draft in Game 1 and Huskar Broodmother duo in Game 2 proved too much to overcome, and Liquid would eliminate LGD and earn the right to face LFY in the lower bracket finals.
But now Somnus left to the Wolves. Liquid, no mind games now. Straight down the middle lane. Miracle starting to heat up. He's heating up. Give him another. He wants more. Bulldozing his way through 11. Liquid surge in. They want this tower. GG! Liquid have done it!
Facing off in their first set against LFY in the entire tournament, Liquid would continue their amazing lower bracket run.
Melee is still up for Liquid. This might actually be a win for them. Game 2, a complete stop by Liquid.
Mind control, this is his buyback! This is his diving, no! BKB cheese! He's gonna get the last round!
The base is crumbling.
Profit.
Death by 1,000 cuts.
Going for the tier 4 mind control, popping that BKB. He's down to half. Can they actually kill him?
But
no, he's gonna be fine.
He's still fighting this. Miracle is fighting this.
GG!
And secure a berth in a grand finals where Newbee away.
If the length of that video is any indication, Team Liquid played a lot of games to get here. It's one of the longest road to the finals that is even physically possible here at TI. But now they are here in the grand finals. They'll be going up against Newbee, and Game 1 is going to begin right now. The grand finals of the International 7 begins with Newbee versus Team Liquid.
Newbee versus Team Liquid. Grand Finals, Game 1.
Before we get too far into the draft, I wanted to make a note on that LFI Liquid game at the very end there. Notice how Liquid actually went for kills on heroes instead of going for the throne. None of those heroes had buyback. We saw a couple teams, we saw Virtus Pro make that mistake in their series versus Liquid, which costed them their road here at the International. And I imagine we're going to have I bet we'll have a couple mega creep defenses going on in this series. It's kind of where Dota is right now, right?
Definitely possible.
10 seconds remaining.
We see the Night Stalker and Earth Spirit banned by Team Liquid. Very popular heroes for Newbee. Night Stalker also the second most picked and banned hero at the entire tournament.
Team Liquid passing up on the Ancient Apparition ban, which they've been doing pretty much exclusively for the last couple series.
Yeah.
That's going to...
I guess it's because of the series that Newbee played against LFY, where they actually picked Earth Spirit in the first two, all of the games. So
and they did really well. But now, if Newbee does go for that Ancient Apparition, that is going to prevent Liquid, for the most part, from going into that Alchemist pick, going into that Oracle pick.
as well.
Caudle as well, to some extent. I agree.
They're giving a lot of respect to Kunkka.
Yeah, they're leaving the Caudle out there, even with Night Stalker banned. First pick, Furion. He finally made it. First pick. Best hero of the tournament, I think.
Bulldog's back.
Oh my gosh, we're going to have a split push ratty tournament finals. These EU teams are the worst.
Best. Some from EU.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm sure USA out there in the crowd is taking claim of Team Liquid right about now. I saw a couple of USA flags, and I heard a couple chants.
Yeah, Team Liquid's got a long heritage.
That's just kind of the American way, right? We just take the teams. There's Navi, like USA chants all around.
Tumba Man is Finnish. Miracle from Jordan. Mind Control from Bulgaria.
That's about as American as it gets.
From Lebanon. Kuroki from Germany. International lineup.
It's cool, man. Teams, we see that so much more nowadays. Players from all over the world wanting to win, working with people in different countries, different cultures.
Don't forget the Korean coach.
Yes, Korean coach. They just, they just want to win.
That's the Bloodseeker right there.
We saw Bloodseeker paired with Earth Spirit every single game that Newbee played in the winners bracket finals versus LFY. And here they're choosing it right after Nyx Assassin.
Curious if Liquid will actually put another hero together with the Prophet against the Bloodseeker to pressure him, or if they would actually even go aggro try against it and put the Prophet safe lane.
That's the thing, though. I think Newbee will be a little bit smarter about securing Bloodseeker a better lane. I know they can play it. Mugi can play it in either safe lane or off lane, and then SCCC could also play it in the mid lane.
Yeah, I think the reason we've seen before, now we see that the Earth Spirit is banned, but they like this Earth Spirit with Bloodseeker, of course, because you deal a lot of damage to a lot of heroes.
Would you have
your Bloodseeker?
Would you have thought in the grand finals teams would just be like, GH, you take Caudle, like try it.
Newbee's turn to bat.
Well, given that he's 9-1 on Earthshaker, no, excuse me, 10-1 now.
Yeah.
They actually picked the Nyx as well, like maybe to make sure that they don't go Call in the second pick here on Liquid, because Nyx is one of the best heroes against Call, to find him when he's farming in the jungle, and with the Carapace to, yeah, I don't know,
to grab the blinding or the illuminates.
Yeah, to catch him and damage him, of course, as well.
Remaining.
Also good against Furion. The Nyx finding him throughout the game and kind of keeping Furion's split push in check. Going to the Slardar, when have we seen Team Liquid? I know we've seen them play it.
They played it before. Last time they played it with Darkseer and Wyvern, I think.
Okay.
But that didn't go so well. They lost that one game against...
Yeah, I don't love that hero for mind control.
Yeah, virtually every game that Team Liquid has done the Slardar Darkseer combo, it's been a very difficult games, even the times that they have won.
GH has been playing Slardar quite good though, at least. It's kind of as a shaker in a way, which he's been playing a lot as well.
Do you think we'll also see the Broodmother ban here in the second phase? LFY banned Huskar and Broodmother in all 3 of the games in the second phase?
Could be possible.
What do you think about Drow for Liquid?
It's
Could go for some.
You like Drow versus Bloodseeker?
I mean, if there's no Darkseer, I think if they have a lot of heavy physical damage and the Bloodseeker just can't fight you because they have too much damage, and I also feel like they could pressure the lanes very heavily with this Prophet with Drow Aura, getting some backup maybe from the Slardar in the offlane.
They could. I think it's risky. You know, it's not really where Liquid has been this tournament, so you know, it'd definitely be a bold pick. I also think Bloodseeker, like once it gets past us, there's like a timing on the Drow lineup where the Bloodseeker, he starts getting his SNY, his BKB, his Radiance, and then I think it's impossible for a Drow lineup to deal with him. Also, Lich still in the pool. We saw that hero be incredibly effective against Drow strategies. Lich might be a good pick for Newbee here. Not super great against Furion, but that ice armor, you can't underestimate that up against this Slardar.
You know, I want to ask a little bit about the bans that we're seeing out of Newbee, or excuse me, the bans that we're seeing out of Team Liquid, because Newbee's bans look very much so. Team Liquid plays all 3 of those heroes a lot and have won a lot of drafts with just strong play from those. But we have Tidehunter banned right away from Team Liquid.
I think it's because Newbee has been playing a lot around their team fight, and Tide is one of the best heroes to team fight. As well as maybe they want to pick some like melee safe lane hero on Liquid that Tide like fares.
He's really good up against these first 2 heroes.
Yeah.
The Kraken Shell will just remove amplified damage.
That is true as well.
And he usually builds mech, and he doesn't really care about Prophet's right clicks that much.
Exactly. Slardar is going to die in Ravage like, what, 9 out of 10 times? That'd be cool to see some Tidehunters. Some big. I want to see some Tidehunters, some Enigmas, some big team fight.
Could it be a Lycan pick for Liquid, and that is why they ban both Axe and Tide?
It's not out of the... It is into a Bloodseeker though as well. So
yeah, Bloodseeker's been pretty good against Lycan.
That is true. That's not the best pick.
5 seconds remaining.
Broodmother ignored.
Yeah, maybe that's why we're seeing this Axe and Tide bans. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great point.
4th pick Brood.
Yeah, strong heroes to go up against the little spiderlings.
Newbee knows what's coming though. That was an intentional decision of theirs to ban Venomancer instead of Broodmother. They'll have a plan for it.
And at the same time, for Liquid, banning these Axe might have been a way for them to try to get the Venomancer to trick Newbee into thinking that it's a Brood pick, to ban the Brood instead, and being able to get the Venomancer themselves for Liquid. It's a lot of mind the games.
Crystal Maiden's getting so much attention. Yeah. Do you think she's a fast enough hero to keep up with Liquid's playstyle?
I think she allows Bloodseeker to play really fast, and also Nyx. And I think it should be okay if they pair it up with something else that benefits. I really like the Nova against this. It's...
Could you define the term fast? Just I feel like we're using that vocabulary a lot, and I'm not sure people understand.
In what sense? Okay, I guess in the sense that she comes online early, or
yeah, like what makes a hero fast?
Well, I think that depends. That depends on how you use it, or you know. But I think most of the time when you talk about a fast hero, you talk about like Slardar is fast because he runs fast, but he's not necessarily a fast hero because he comes online only after he gets his Blink Dagger.
Sure.
And usually when you talk about fast heroes, it's a hero that doesn't really need any items to be effective early on, or doesn't need much time to become effective.
By the time Crystal Maiden's level 5, she has 2 abilities.
Yeah, but levels 1 through 4,
and then
she's kind of slow.
Yeah, can regenerate a whole lot of mana for her team. Makes very influential in ganks.
Here comes the Batroid as well for Newbee that LFY had against this Prophet.
an extremely fast Lifestealer pick for Team Liquid.
Yep, the Slaughter Onyx. Yeah, we got the Slaughter Onyx combo. Lifestealer also a hero that lanes incredibly well against Batrider. You can actually solo that matchup with the Magic Stick.
Yeah, he doesn't care about Maiden or Nyx at all either.
Yeah, it can be very hard to gank this Lifestealer.
We've seen this sort of shape to a Liquid lineup before where they go for an insanely hard carry at the very last pick. An Alchemist last pick with just these heroes, not even having Lifestealer be the main position one.
It's possible. I feel like Miracle's going to be playing the Lifestealer. I think that they've kind of adjusted to this strategy where Miracle's always playing the one, Matumba Man being a little bit more versatile with his pick, playing lots of different styles of heroes.
They looks like that they want to pick this mid hero though with the Lich. Or maybe they're gonna put the Lich safe lane. I see some teams do it, but I don't really like it so much.
Isn't this the Lifestealer plus Lich? Isn't that what LFY did against Liquid just now?
Yes.
In game 1, up against the Bloodseeker.
Yep. The Lifestealer, even when he got ruptured, he just kind of stood his ground, and if any spells came his way, he used Rage, and he just kind of sat there and said, "Come at me."
Yeah, and I know you also talked a little bit about like you like the matchup Prophet against Bat, or you think it's at least.
I think the laning phase is fine, but I think the later the game goes, Batrider gets really, really good in that matchup. Nature's Prophet just has no escape mechanism, so if the Batrider gets on top of him, he just kind of drops.
So as we're getting into these final picks, what is the composition for Team Liquid looking like as a whole team, and what's the composition of Newbee looking like?
Little low in the team fight here for Team Liquid, but they've got great pickoff with the Lifestealer Slaughter Bombs that are going to come out. Nature's Prophet can also TP in and follow up on those ganks. They probably needs a second initiator, I think, depending on Slardar, especially as he is kind of that slow hero and doesn't come online until he gets a Blink Dagger. I'd like to see them get another form of initiation, so that way they can secure those kills to get him his Blink Dagger.
And what do you see as that last hero? Is there anything that you have in mind?
We still have... I mean, I don't think Miracle would play Puck. I don't think Matumba Man would either.
Might be something more carry-heavy to fit with the Lich mid.
And what about Newbee as a team?
What about them, Sean?
Tell me, kind of what are their strengths, their weaknesses?
Well, their strengths is that they haven't lost a series yet in this main event.
But a lot of pick-off with both Batrider and Nyx. Nyx can go around enemies and try to find people, and Batrider can also find kills on Prophet and Lich, at least.
Yeah. The CM auras can be incredibly helpful for their team, especially in the early game, running around, constantly being able to fight.
Queen of Pain, the final ban. And Troll Warlord, the final pick for Team Liquid, helped them edge that win out against Team Secret, and they've enjoyed it with their push-heavy
They have some seriously heavy physical damage right now. Troll also one of those heroes that people like playing with the Nature's Prophet. It just gives you a lot more damage. Like when you have this Slaughter, you can run around even without the Nakes now. And just, you crush one guy, and if Prophet is nearby, you just press Troll ult, and the guy's dead.
They've got 50 seconds here to make a pick. What is a... How do we feel about maybe Sven?
You think it's going to be a mid Bloodseeker then?
Yeah, I mean, they could still... I don't know, I think they can get pretty flexible with their lanes. I think it's, Liquid's going to be doing some sort of like dual lane setup with the roaming Slardar, so I imagine the whole lane phase is going to be a little free for both teams. Newbee's only really going to have to worry about that Furion porting in and helping out that Slardar secure kills. Any anti-physical damage heroes? There's still a Timbersaw who can get a lot of reactive armor. Sven with the Warcry. I mean, I'm thinking armor, right? Armor or something.
Sven is quite physical heavy himself, though, against the Lich.
I feel like Sven would be very clunky.
Wow.
Yeah. Lina. Well, of course, Lina. Almost certainly going to be going mid. Yep, SCCC loaded on. Very strong at hitting towers.
Newbee's early game is really fast.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, Newbee has a lot of heroes that can come online early with levels. Team Liquid, a physical damage strong lineup. It's time to head down to the casters for our very first game of the Grand Finals.
The biggest series of the Dota 2 year is the place where immortals are crowned, and it is the International Grand Final. I am Toby1 here with Synderen, and we will take you through this best of 5 series. So far, Synderen, Newbee and Liquid, we have our drafts for game 1. What are your thoughts?
I like Liquid in this one, honestly. I think they got a lot of the heroes that they have been very successful with. The composition of their lineup looks very solid to me. Good laning, good fighting later on. Great ways of picking off on the map, great vision. Actually, something both teams have is a good way of finding vision. I think what the panel said is important. Newbee's lineup is fast at coming online, and I think they need to start taking the fights early and shut down these cores of Liquid, because 2 physical damage cores late game with Starter Corrosive Haze can be very difficult to deal with. And I don't know about Newbee's lineup scaling potential so much.
It does seem a little odd, like maybe if we're looking at the old Alina, maybe we'd be like, hey, this is actually going to be really powerful. I kind of want to touch a little bit on mind control. We have that Nature's Prophet back in. It was a huge star in the previous series. Now he's up against Batrider, up against Nyx Assassin. How is he meant to deal with this? Do you actually look to have mind control play a very similar role as he did in that lower bracket final?
It's definitely going to be a hard test for him, this one. I think it's harder than all of the games he had against LFY on Nature's Prophet, for sure. Some great counters in that regard. And I think we're going to expect less, at least I personally am going to expect less of a massive impact out of Mind Control's hero, just the way it works in this game. But he doesn't, that doesn't say too much, because in the last games he was completely outstanding. So if he even has less impact, it can still be very impactful. But it is certainly a very difficult Nature's Prophet game. And Newbee will want to try to, I think early on, try to get these skirmishes going. I think that's something their lineup is very good at, using this Nyx Assassin Batrider's fast heroes and then combining it with a Bloodright and just in general the passive of the Bloodseeker, that thirst, to snowball fights, I think is what it's going to be all about.
Well, Newbee already looking to try and find their first snowball. It's a 4-man smoke maneuver into the jungle, looking for an opening. Matumberman is the only one from Team Liquid there, while Liquid doing a little bit more of a similar thing. Mind Control and GH just trying to secure more of these bounty runes. So either side, just trying to poke around, see if they can find an opening. They do not want to make a mistake. You do not want to be one game down in this best-of-5 series.
I think that is something important to keep in mind as well for this, that it is a best-of-5. Best-of-5s have a tendency of getting very different from best-of-3s if they go the stretch. Obviously, because if it's 3-0, then it's still a traditional 3 games. But these teams will be learning about each other as they play. They obviously are very prepared for this matchup, but there will be some new things emerging throughout this series that will take priority. We already saw the first step toward this series was giving Liquid that Nature's Prophet, and Liquid choosing to first pick it over the Coddle has already been their first adaptation to this matchup. And there's going to be more of that coming later on. So the first game, as you said, every game is massively important, but you need to look for
that observer wall has been dewatered. He just tried to go for the denial. It won't happen, however. SC was able to get the first hit on that one, but it does reveal the fact that GH was prepping himself for a gank in mid, running this dual lane mid, Lich and Troll Warlord. That's a lot of harassment, but of course it goes the other way. We've almost gone back into group stage meta with Nyx Assassin harassing out the mid. Only difference is it's not an Intel core mid.
I think this is the worst mana burn I've ever seen on level 1. You mana burn a troll, he has 14 int. This is like the dumbest hero in Dota. And you know, it doesn't really have that high of an impact.
You're offending Ogre by doing that. KP on bottom lane, a little bit of trouble. GH actually able to get that first crush off. The body blocking from the trees. Mind Control! You said if he had even a small amount of the impact he had in that lower bracket series, it'd already be great, but that was all set up from the tree and block into the stun, into a second wave of tree and block. And KP, a hard lane for him on bottom.
They take full advantage of Batrider not being level 2. This body block is going to become impossible once he reaches that level 2 unless Firefly is on cooldown. And Liquid identifying that this is a move they can make now and only now with GH. We've been seeing a lot of great plays from him throughout this tournament. I think what defines this player more than anything is just game sense. GH has a very good eye for what works at what times in the game and how he should move around, and that's in a position 4 player in this patch, that is like the highest quality you can have, is that game sense.
We have a lane switch, middle lane, Courier snipe, Mind Control coming in for the kill on NCC. Miracle was already diving into the tower, thanks to Nyx Assassin rotating towards bottom. Miracle and Kuro were not being punished for their dive. Mind Control, however, might but GH in the neighborhood. They're going to look for the double crush, and GH, he'll connect, a double kill for Mind Control, and GH, he's trying to get in front of him, almost attempting to get just in the line of Kunkka. So we cannot go through the trees. It won't work in Team Liquid. They are everywhere on this map. SCCC has come back to the mid lane thanks to the Shrine, but I don't know if he really wants to be here. This is a horrendous lane to be in.
This is such an explosive start from Liquid. I think what plays a really big role here is obviously that first blood bottom sets up the Nature's Prophet to start already being active and moving around, getting the Courier snipe and the kill in mid. And I really dislike the Nyx Assassin scaling mana burn level 1. I think if what you're going to use it for is mana burning troll, you're actually hurting yourself more than him. You pay 100 mana to burn like 40, and You know, he could have maybe had the stun earlier, maybe that could have counterplayed or done something bottom for his Batrider.
Oh, something bottom, KP. GH again trying to beat into him. He doesn't have a friend nearby. Lifestealer is currently taking care of the pull. The KP was attempting just to break the equilibrium of that bottom lane.
Yeah, Liquid have gone for lane swap because I think the Lifestealer fares really poorly against Bloodseeker in this one-on-one match up top, and Liquid don't want to commit supports to that lane. So instead they're going to send Mind Control up there, who should also be losing this lane. But after what he's already done, I think it's more, it's a better economic choice for Liquid to sacrifice Mind Control a little bit in this sense and then give the Lifestealer a better matchup against the Batrider.
Open wounds on bottom, going after KP. GH has the Crusher Valve, waiting out a little bit longer. The maximum amount of control time on KP. The Firefly is cutting the trees, and Matoman happy to walk through it. GH taking a lot of damage for this, but the kill, the fourth one, goes the way of Team Liquid.
This is going to empower Mugi a bit in that top lane with the Thirst kicking in, but still won't be able to run down Mind Control just yet.
That's a good thing to keep an eye on too, like how low everybody is and just how quickly Mugi is able to reach that level 6.
Newbee needs to solve this mid lane though. Man, this does not look good for them. They're actually getting completely destroyed in this game. It reminds me of was that game 3 against LFY where Liquid were just completely destroying the early game and then LFY almost came back off that carry morphling. I believe that was the 3rd game. In this game, Newbee don't have that powerhouse carry that can bring them back. They really need Batrider to have a good game. He's having an awful time as well.
Yep. And
nobody on Newbee is having a good time apart from Bloodseeker. He's like their only hero right now.
Well, what are you going to do to rotate to support the Crystal Maiden? The panel miner says she can come online early, but right now Faith has been spending more time moving between the lanes trying to help out than being able to level up and farm. In fact, even dying already. So that's why they're just backing off from the lanes, letting Faith get some levels inside of the jungle, letting everyone else rotate, and hoping that SE can use at least his spam with the slaves to get control of this mid lane back again for Miracle. I say control, at least get some level of CS. Currently it's 11-0 to a 28-10 CS matchup in the mid. This is more than a stomping. This is what SECC did to LFY when they played against them in the winners bracket final.
I'll be honest with you though, it's pretty hard to play Lina in this game. In that lane, when you're playing against Lich Troll and a TP Nature's Prophet,
yeah,
no player in the world can win this lane. Like, it's just not possible. Maybe that bot, if they train the bot a bit more, maybe they can win this matchup, but, you know.
We only have real players in this grand final. Centaur in bottom lane, already Matoman going for another dive. KP has to take flight, but the open wounds will slow him down. GH is here. It's a secondary stun. That's all they want to hold him in position. KP will fall. And Team Liquid, apart
they're even killing him top, maybe.
Mugi able to TP out, Mind Control, they get the vision. And this was the only lane that was going decently for Newbee. And Liquid with the rotations up, Mind Control being here, and the Frost Blast from Kuro, they'll get the kill on the Bloodseeker.
Something that's really interesting about these Liquid games when they have the Nature's Prophet is it actually reminds me of how they play when they have the IO. It's what enables them to make these super early aggressive rotations around the map, just really put pressure on every single lane. They use the IO in that way, where IO maybe starts mid, wins that mid lane, then can always rotate over to get a kill with their off lane or whatnot. But they're using Nature's Prophet in a similar way, and when you see these games play out and how Liquid has used already in this game the Nature's Prophet and the previous series, it makes you wonder if you should just actually start giving them that shaker just so you can get to play Dota.
They're coming to mid. They're going to try and punish Miracle at the moment. The quick rupture. Miracle still close to the T1 tower. Has to try and run it off. He's got a lot of life, but without a TP scroll, can't really go anywhere. Mind Control wants to sprout control the hillside. But by the time he finishes the TP, mid lane is already dead. And finally, Newbee will get themselves on the board with a 1-6.
Yeah, I think SC really wanted that kill on Lina. It looked like he was trying to kill secure it, but the Blood Right did get the last hit. I think it's important for Newbee to get SCC online in this game. The Bloodseeker will have a fine time regardless. Like, sure, he died top, but he's the hero that has farm. You need to bring the other heroes into the game. And we see Newbee's approach to this is get the Nyx Assassin that safe lane, get him his level 6. Batrider will move to the stacks in the top side of his jungle. And that way they're trying to activate all of their heroes to maybe start being able to fight Liquid back in a few minutes, which I think is what they need. Like, this pace, their heroes can't keep up unless their supports get levels.
Liquid are looking to keep the pressure right over the observer ward. GH now the range creep attacks him, pings out the fact that there is vision from Newbee down there.
Yeah, it's going to show that ward. Yep. Else the creep wouldn't have aggroed on him there. So good information for him to have.
And then Mind Control does exactly what he wants to do. Like, you talk about the Batrider leaving the top lane, just do his thing, farming up in the jungle, but Mind Control's up on this top lane, ready to pressure the T1 tower. Just like we saw previously, Mugi, he wants to rupture onto Mataman, coming up the tower. Here comes GH. It's the same gank over and over again. The Frostbite's nice, but then again the damage. Kunkka can't turn for the stun, and the Infest, he's inside the creep, popping back out. Mind Control will join the fight. Wrath of Nature damage has already been inflicted as GH, he's got sprint off cooldown in 2 seconds time. This will give him the movement speed to catch up to Fate, especially when Mind Control holds him in the sprout. He's looking for the stun on Mugi. Kuro just lets the ulti go. They may, and yes they do. They have enough damage to kill off Mugi, turning attention towards Fate. Fate falling for the second time this game.
Mugi was thinking about it on the Bloodseeker there. He was like hesitant, should I turn, should I not turn? Because of the damage that Lifestealer took with that Rupture on. Matumbaman actually jumped out of the Infest and started running a little bit, giving him a lot of strength. But, you know, the Lich came in from the side. Kuro with this really quick level 6, one of the big benefits of Lich. And he's going to just keep scaling with this max level and Sacrifice, 8 minutes in.
They're coming again. Bottom lane, Mind Control and Kuro are down here, but as GH, who's patrolling SC's farming in the jungle, Mugi does come to the bottom lane, trying to make that Rupture do something. But for the moment, all they can do is try and pincer up GH. He's put an aggressive Observer Ward down, so he'll get a little bit of extra vision. As the rest of Newbee do move over, he'll see Kunkka, he'll end up seeing Mugi, GH, and I'll show you how you get out this one. Top lane, the fight's been going in the meantime, is KP dying, but GH runs off the Rupture, so a 1-1 trade-off on the opposite sides of the map.
I think GH was trying to force something out of Newbee there. I mean, he ran into SCC without any allies there. They couldn't have killed him with an Nature's Prophet TP either, so he was trying to scare them, maybe force TPs, try to maybe steal that creep, but Newbee's supports were already in the area, and they basically get themselves a little bit of a freebie on him. It's not the biggest kill ever, but anything right now for Newbee is important.
They'll take it. When they're about 5.8k net worth behind, they're about 4k in the experience behind. You know Newbee are just begging for anything. Top lane, the Prophet's going to TP in, so well, if Newbee wants it, they can try and take a defense up here, but GH is also rotating around the back past the Radiant Ancients and towards KP, who actually can get sandwiched. That Observer Ward down once again. 2 aggressive Observer Wards. You wouldn't even think you're 10 minutes into this game, but it reveals KP's position perfectly. So the Crush can come in, KP, he can Firefly and get up the hill. I say he can, he doesn't have the movement speed. Turning on the spot, almost like he's the one getting sticky napalmed up. And now it's 11-2 in favor of Team Liquid, going at more than 1 kill a minute.
Yeah, they're waiting for GH to get level 6, then I think they're just going to take Roche with this Troll. When he gets the Morbid Mask, Troll can usually do it just with Morbid Mask alone, I think, when he's like this level 9. But Miracle is also going to have Ice Armor to help him and the Amplify out of GH. Now the Corrosive Haze is online, they're going to smoke. Let's see if that's the exact move they're making.
Yeah, but
Kunkka is scouting out.
He's there under the cover of Vendetta. Where's your detection? There's a sentry board available for Kuro, but at least Kunkka has this information. So here comes Newbee. You can Blood Right, you can find the control. It's Kuro getting caught out. SCCC, he has Laguna Blade. Doesn't want to burn it for just a Lich. He wants a call, but he's not going to live long enough. Matumbaman just arrives with so much damage. Even GH getting that follow-up stun onto KP. Firefly is available. He's now going to burn it. Lasso's up too. The double stun from Kunkka, creating space. They're looking towards Slaughter. And the clipping is about to begin. GH unwillingly left on the hill. Where's the stun? Where's the control? GH just TP's out under the cover of Maul, not too far away. He wants to stay in the fight, so he only went towards the shrine and then back to the mid. But Matumbaman with no mana and Mugi moving at very, very fast speed. This is the downside about not TPing all the way back to base. Mugi currently is going at about 700 movement speed on this Bloodseeker. Liquid will not win a position battle with this Bloodseeker.
So Newbee do stop the Roshan, but they end up losing their Lina. So they basically, not just the Lina. They lose the Lina and their Courier. I guess I didn't see that, but I'm guessing Mind Control sniped it once again. So they lost Courier, they lost Lina, they got nothing out of that except protecting the Roshan. But it feels like Liquid will just be going there again fairly soon, as they are just so far ahead already.
You want a snipe position. The Courier died on top of the Radiant throne. That's the death position of the Courier.
Sounds like a Nature's Prophet to me. So SC probably regrets not Lagooning the Lich there, right? It's just such a hard call to make because it looked like they were going to get the kill regardless. But Kuro is already fairly tanky with this Ice Armor in level 9. It's not the easiest support to bring down. Actually has the same health on Lich as the mid Lina does right now, being out-leveled by Kuro. That's a pretty bad sign for for SC in this game when you're behind the supports, as the mid lane has the most experience this patch, so you're losing really damn hard on your mid hero.
They have to turn the attention back to what we almost said like 5 minutes ago, where Newbee just have to get anything they possibly can out of this map.
Yep.
Laguna Blade go for a kill. They're going to find Matubberman. Kunkka walking right over the top of him. Here goes Eruption to start with. Follow-up stun. Rage is available from the Live Sealer, but then again, when the silence is there, SCCC commits this time with the Laguna Blade ending the killing spree. But the sacrifice is the tier 1 tower on bottom lane that Team Liquid took in the meantime.
Matumba knew that was a pretty high-risk play, I think. Just moving in there, his team were taking the bottom tier 1 tower, so he felt like, okay, worst case scenario, I die for a tower. But I actually think Newbee weren't going to try to defend that anyway. He's just trying to get some sort of information into the Radiant jungle.
KP's hunting Kuro. He's trying to get vision. Now he's able to get it. Sticky Napalm, 2 stacks up, but Kuro back behind his creep wave and across the river where Newbee will not venture.
This is a really fast ledge. He has 400 move speed, Tranquils and Windlace.
The downside is his mission was to put down this Observer and Sentry, and both will now get de-warded.
Yep.
Thanks to the fact his positioning was scouted out.
This is crucial for Newbee. They have to just hold on to the map. If the map disappears for just a few minutes, then Liquid will take Roche, all the towers, and then eventually you're just not coming back into this game. They have to play, even though they're behind, they have to keep playing fast and try to make aggressive moves. It's what we saw LFY do in that third game that I'll be referencing quite a bit in this game, is that LFY got destroyed in the lanes, and then they played aggressively with smokes. Like, they just ran in and tried to take fights because they knew if they don't do anything, they're going to get starved out of the map and don't even have a chance to come online. So there's a key item coming here. KP will get the Blink Dagger, so respectable 14-minute timing after getting completely destroyed in lane. 5 deaths, 14-minute Blink. Pretty good from him.
It's been a rough day at the office for KP. There's no doubting that one. But you look at what target you can actually achieve with this. The Bat Rider is meant to be one of those great pickups to get the Nature's Prophet caught out when Mind Control goes for his split push. But if you look at Mind Control's items, he's at 2.6k gold, very rapidly approaching that Shadow Blade. So invis detection will be essential. They're going to try and do it the old-fashioned way. 3 hero smoke up, down mid. They'll team up with SCCC. But Team Liquid already have 4 heroes at their tier 1 tower. They're ready to defend this.
And I think Miracle instantly pinged out SC just appearing out of nowhere, so I think they know the smoke is happening. He didn't attack out of fog, he actually attacked in the creep vision. So Miracle has the info, and I don't think.
KP, 5 flied up, Miracle's the opportunity.
Oh, GH failed!
He didn't blink, he didn't get the crush, now the double stun is in there from Kunkka, really catching Team Liquid on the back heels. Rather Nature bounces through, however, so at least they can get the leader back, but right now, 2 heroes down for either side. It's Faith on the run with Moogie down south away from Kuro. While Mind Control and Matubberman turn their attention towards Kunkka. Another double stun from this Nyx assassin. And Team Liquid, they're going to be sad about this if they can't get more, and they're looking for it under the tier 1 tower. Moogie is here, ready to fight, but Matubberman stealing that life back, ready to fight up Kunkka. Invis for the moment, they'll drop the Sentry Ward under the tower, spike Carapace, buying space for Kunkka. They need more damage. Mind Control dusting up Kunkka with a stick charge, still alive back under the tower. He'll survive, and Mind Control does his TP, nothing to cancel it, so he'll get out. Kunkka's done just a little bit too far off. But Liquid really looking to make up for that, and GH maybe getting a little tired, meant to blink to crush, and it never came.
That was 100%. I'm positive that was a bait from Liquid to keep Miracle in the front lines, because GH could just blink crush the Bat Rider the moment the lasso came out, and he didn't get the blink off. Maybe had it on the wrong hotkey. We're gonna see it here. So they jump Miracle, GH. And that's an infested Lifestealer as well. So Lifestealer now gets blinked into the fight afterwards. And that was really awkward. So it ends up being a 2-for-2, clearly favoring Newbee when you're this far behind. They catch up a little bit.
Oh, GH. He has a haste rune while being ruptured. This is the worst contradiction of abilities.
I love that stutter step you start doing when you're ruptured with haste rune in those situations. Like, I need to create a little distance, but I need to not die.
One step where I'm a slaughter, I don't step.
So another kill. All right, Newbee are showing signs of life in this game. This game could have already been completely out of control if it was not one of these top caliber teams. They're even going to find Kuro in mid. Another kill.
That they are. Able to bring down the Lich. Nature's Prophet, however, now with the Shadow Blade, he's become the infest bomb, working to bring down Moogie. Moogie doesn't have the life to survive this, trying to go left and right, but that's still going to dodge you. The Tumberman and Mind Control team up beautifully and find that pickoff. The rest of Newbee now rotate up. And they're looking for the aggressive wards of Team Liquid. But Liquid, very, they're changing that ward position every single time.
And now they're going to go aggressively on mid. Oh, Crush actually connects, but nobody can really follow up on this.
They're looking towards that mid. There is no lasso available. The tower's already taken. So really smart from Liquid. With no Bloodseeker, hard to take the fight. In fact, Team Liquid now turn their attention towards Roshan. This is a very obvious move, however, considering they're doing it underneath that Radiant Observer Ward. Quick sentries down, so Newbee will get rid of that high ground vision the Team Liquid have around the pit. So they go for more defensive ward. Roshan's down to 2k. KP, he does have the Firefly. Blink is up in 1 second time. 1 second will be perfect. But then again, the initiation's already happened. Faith letting it go, but Thomas standing right in front, taking it. At the same time, you've got SEC, a perfect stun. Troll Warlord's out. Kunkka wants his TP. These Ancients are not his friends. That Lynch ulti just would not stop the bounce, bounce, bounce. SDC, he's on the run now. From 2 heroes, about to become 3, but the third doesn't even arrive in time. This Lina just does not have the life to survive in the engagements. And Aegis the Immortal remains on Miracle.
And this should be the tier 2 as well. Mind Control was out hunting couriers once again. A little bit of duck hunt. Didn't find it this time though. But connects with his team immediately, and here goes the push again. So Liquid, a little bit of a hiccup before, but they've immediately stabilized again, getting the Aegis, now the tier 2, progressing toward even more key items. There's going to be the Desolator will come out for Lifestealer after this tower, making that Lifestealer bomb a lot more dangerous. And they have these 2 ways of jumping in. I think when you're playing Lifestealer, having 2, I generally call them vehicles, is really powerful, because when you're the opposing team, if you're playing against Lifestealer and it's like there's a Lifestealer bomb with Puck, then if you see Puck on the map, you're like, okay, well, that means Lifestealer he can either be infested in this guy that we see, or he's unlikely to jump me. When there's 2 options, whenever Mind Control shows, they need to be scared of GH, and vice versa. So there's no guarantee that Newbee can ever really split. And I think that's such a powerful combination with Nature's Prophet, right? That he can both be the vehicle and the one forcing the split. And then you use Lifestealer together with that. So it's something we've seen historically, quite a lot of games actually, Nature's Prophet and Lifestealer together. It's just a proven combo. It works so well.
So many players missing on the map for Newbee at the moment. The only one that was showing himself was KP previously. Now SC shows himself up on the top, so Liquid want to work it out. It won't be too difficult. They can just move to the top lane and look for that fight. Mind Control, ETP'd in almost on top of his tier 2 tower, just to try and add a little bit of momentum. KP, Firefly's up, already starts his TP as Firefly is wearing off. They don't want this fight. Team Liquid just not coming to the engagement fast enough for their liking.
A little bit too early on the opening for Mind Control. I think he wanted that exact thing to happen.
GH, you lucky duck. He just found an Invis Rune in the bottom river, and SCCC is probably the one. Actually, no, they're all backing up. Newbee didn't see this. Their observer wards are mainly focused around Roshan on both the northern side as well as the southwest. So they just they farm in the protected areas, or at least the vision areas.
GH, with that Invis Rune, can't toggle sprint without breaking it.
Oh, he's found a target.
Slowly but steadily just blow up Kunkka.
Walked up, he doesn't have Invis available, and it really is a blow up.
That's even a Nature's Prophet ultimate connecting there from Mind Control. Very nice timing. Didn't need it, but, you know, style points.
Mind Control might even have a crack at KP. Sprout here, just looking for the flying vision on KP. There's more support on the way. GH sprint comes off cooldown, so he'll have that movement speed, but KP wisely playing the mind game. He's got 16 seconds till his TP comes off cooldown, so he blinks and goes deeper into the dire jungle. Even if he does die, he's still wasting time of Team Liquid if they chase him.
Whose time is he really wasting, though? That's the question. I mean, they're just like, whatever. Let him cut away. I think KP is doing the perfect thing here, trying to bring down.
Oh, wow. He actually could have sniped the courier if he waited half a second longer.
I think he would have died. I'm pretty sure.
In his mind, he thought that. Mind Control. He was looking for the TP. Miracle wrapping around the back of the Nyx Assassin. Where's that detection? They actually don't have it yet. It was coming on the courier with the 2 sentry wards. So Kunkka, he's wrapping up. The courier's flying in at the moment, but already that tower is gone.
He saw it on the ward. He's going to get this.
On the way back, he's got the damage. Get ready for res, everybody. Kunkka, snipe, boom, done. 36 people are now happier.
41, I think. Oh, Newbee got slightly happier as well.
Okay, baby Kunkka's not so happy. Faith in the bottom lane. Mind Control's just stalking this poor Crystal Maiden. Puts the Treants down. Frostbite. Wrath of Nature bouncing through. Faith, lucky for the moment, tries to cut his way through the trees. Has a couple of one charges. Difficult to run on that bottom lane while Kuro initiates the top. Faith will still actually successfully TP out of that bottom lane fight. While Liquid were looking for the real big initiation up on top. They'll force the issue anyway in a bit. Miracle has that BKB to come.
I think we're approaching the point when Newbee have their best chance of the game, apart from that one early fight they took that was good. They almost have the Radiance on Bloodseeker, and Lina is close to... I mean, he's not going to get the full Bloodstone probably in time for that, but he could maybe have the Soul Booster. So they have something to fight back with. This... They're not going to win by just sitting in their base like this. And at the same time, it's so scary to come out. That's the power of Liquid's draft, but you've got to play to your strengths. So I think Newbee, they'll get this Radiance, they'll try for a smoke play, see if they can get a couple of picks or maybe even a full-on team fight. And if that doesn't work, they might just end up conceding the game. Because I think if they lose this next fight, they're going to lose their base, more than likely.
Yeah. And they're aware of that, so everything that they can do, pickoffs to try and delay the fight, get their better items before Team Liquid come high ground, that's what they have to look for. But Liquid are just always together now. 5 heroes, 1 infested inside the Slaughter. Nyx Assassin gets some good vision out. Kuro, Miracle, and Mind Control all visible. Kunkka needs a good opening, but they've already lost KP. So the opening is gone. The Blink Lasso and then Kunkka selling the back line was the best way Newbee could have begun this fight, but it's too late now. As Liquid bear down on this bottom lane. No Agency Wall and Miracle, but the BKB is ready to be popped.
100 gold for Radiance. He got it there with that Blood Rate. So he's going to buy that, send it out to himself.
He's waiting. He's holding on to his buyback. Nyx Assassin, he's the one being initiated on. Spine Campus creates a little bit more space. Can't get the stun. The Laguna Blade does pop the Slaughter, so at least Amplification is gone. But Mind Control, with his own BKB up and running, has already beaten the crap out of the tower. Lifestealer, stunned up from SCCCC, but he doesn't have enough damage. Without the Laguna Blade, they cannot pump that armor toggling Lifestealer. The Blood Right will force Team Liquid back as a tier 3 tower limping alive.
And now he's going to buy the Radiance. So Liquid backing off. Mugi feels like, okay, they can't go immediately again. Chose to hold on to the buyback, as you mentioned. I think that could have been a moment of opportunity, to be honest. Like, Liquid had 3 heroes dropping below half, so the Bloodseeker was getting really fast. And if he has a Radiance there and they connect on literally any spell, he could maybe get in and get some damage off. With Sardar dead, this Bloodseeker is not that instant of a kill anymore without that amplification for Birds of Haze. But it's very clear how Newbee stand mentally in this game. They feel very pressured.
They need KP. Like,
there we go.
There's so much pressure on KP to get that Blink Lasso, because then they can just focus one target, pick him off straight away. They want to be Miracle, so that BKB never comes into play. Smoke, oh, Nyx Assassin, again, great vision up from him. He'll come underneath the Dire Sentry Ward, and they'll see Kuro he misses the Burrow Strike, and now the jump in, hitting very hard. Slaughter so low, he will fall the lasso. They're pushing the Troll Warlord up on the cliff. KP successful with that, while the Rupture on the backline's Mind Control. BKB won't protect him from this. Mugi, he's got the damage output, but not when he's getting Frost Blast down on 98. Matoma needs to hit, able to do so. 3 heroes lost and Miracle clipped.
Oh, what a nice view.
He gives a TP scroll over.
He's just looking down. Great. He's just yelling from the distance. Great job, team.
It's like, Kuro, you must do your job as a support. Please send me a TP scroll ASAP.
So that fight, I think, could have maybe gone different if Bloodseeker got the last hit. But Lina took the kill, so the Bloodseeker didn't heal up, and then Matoma just walks in and gets that kill. At the same time, though, if this jump from GH connects, I think it's just an absolute trashing. But he was guessing for the Nyx. He didn't have the information. Misses the stun. They instantly kill him. Shrine even actually, look at that. Maiden just gets 2-shot by Lifestealer.
Oh, we can come back live as Team Liquid pushing into the bottom lane. Troll Warlord, the dust is up. They have the vision. Laguna Blade's available. They're saving it. They don't need it to get this kill on the Troll Warlord. And now it's Team Liquid on the run. GH is arriving, and so is Nature's Prophet. Infest up. They're going in once more. Blink looking for the crush. The Frostbite. Perfect timing from Faith. Creating space. It's still the Troll Warlord down. The Courier is the only thing for the Radiant side to die until Faith then follows it into the grave. Lifestealer, they got to keep that detection up. Sentry Ward is down. The Glimmer Cape of Kuro really causing problems for Newbee to commit in these detection items. But Matoma, oh no, the Lincoln Sphere. He had it up. KP blinked in. He was looking for the lasso. But the lasso is the thing to trigger the Lincoln Sphere. And now it's 4 heroes down. I don't know if Newbee can really repel this. They may even lose SCCC. Mind Control BKB is protecting himself from the Life Strike Array. And now he'll die. The denial from the Bloodstone. But this is not the position Newbee thought they were going to have. They were the ones to get the initial kill. And now they're losing 2 lanes of Rax.
Liquid showing really good fighting understanding here. They lose their Troll, and a lot of teams will be like, all right, we lost our Kara, we got to back off. But they played the high ground advantage very nicely. They get the turnaround with the quick infest play, and just understand that in this position they can win the fights 4-on-5 or 4-on-4 at the very least if the right abilities have been used. And that's going to be 2 lanes of barracks here, looking toward the end of a quick game 1, unless Newbee pull off some absolutely miraculous smoke play.
And
nope.
GG,
They don't.
They know it's over. You've lost 2 lanes of frags. Liquid showed the lower bracket matchup that they would hold their advantage. They would keep the split push going and bleed Newbee dry. Instead, Newbee tap out and pushes into game 2.
So this is where we're going to need to see how the teams adapt. They tried to counterpick this Nature's Prophet with 2 heroes. They got the Nyx and the Batrider. Mind Control still ran them over in the laning stage completely. I'm expecting a Nature's Prophet ban or pick from Newbee in the next game early on. We'll see how they choose to adjust.
I'm looking for that change in the mid lane. This is now multiple times where you wonder, like, is this mid lane going to be enough? The struggle, the attack, and then this lich combination that just worked so damn well with the Troll. The Nyx Assassin had no influence on it. They had to shore up their lanes, Newbee. They cannot lose 2 out of 3 of their lanes.
Yeah, to me, this game is really difficult to play for Newbee. I looked at this draft and I was like, okay, Liquid are in a really good position in this game if they play their lanes right. They keep surprising me with how much Mind Control manages to do with this Nature's Prophet, and that's why I think Newbee plan ahead for that in the next game. Either ban it or get something even better than this. I mean, I don't know.
Well, Team Liquid continue their run. It started in the lower bracket and it keeps going through. They are 1 game up in this best of 5 grand final at the International.
In game 3 of the last series, Team Liquid came off to a huge start and then struggled to close out, but that was not the case in that last game. Team Liquid started in dominating fashion, continued in dominating fashion. To talk about that series with me, we got Sumail and Crit from EG, and also Merlini. Gentlemen, that was one-sided from start to finish.
How much do you love this Lich meta, Sumail?
I personally hate it a lot. I think it's one of the least skill-based hero. It just takes the fun out of the game. Literally just like takes it out of the game.
Well, talk to me about the impact of Lich in the mid game in terms of how it shapes what you're able to do.
He's like, first off, he's a very strong laner because the experience advantage, like the bad thing, or like not the bad thing, but like there's a problem with dual lanes mid or like dual lanes everywhere that you get like lesser experience in the solo, but Lich just takes it out completely from the game, and like you actually have just the same amount of experience as your solo hero. And in mid game, like the frost armor thing is like really, really good for like you just put it on your carry and he's gonna seize the building. So, yeah.
Crit, I want to get your thoughts about the picks that we're seeing out of Kuroki. What are the big high impact plays that you see coming out of their draft?
Well, for me, I think the biggest part about Liquid's draft that changed was that they first faced the Nature's Prophet, and in the series that we played against them in the group stage, that hero was really hard to play against, and I think Newbee have to react to that in some way, that they have to consider first phase banning this hero or figure something out. They might want to play against their Caudal or their Wisp, something like that, because I think giving Mind Control these heroes where he can just dominate his lane and then transition into map control is really hard to play against.
Yeah, Mind Control really dominated start to finish. I mean, even the crazy courier dive. And I don't think Newbee ever had comfort in any of their lanes, really.
Not really. GH ruined both mid and bottom constantly. He was everywhere. It was really easy for them to shift lanes too with the Mind Control Nature's Prophet. He TP'd mid and then he went top to lane against a Bloodseeker. Bloodseeker was the only one who had a good time. But speaking from Newbee's point of view, because they're the ones that need to change things, is there anything special that you think they can bring to deal with Liquid's draft? Is there any way they can get the upper edge or at least maybe even win in the draft?
Well, the way I see it is that if they want to keep prioritizing this Bloodseeker, they're going to have to probably ban the Nature's Prophet, because that's one of the only matchups where Bloodseeker doesn't win. So I feel like that was a big problem for them, because they usually rely on this Bloodseeker having a good matchup, and then KPI like going offlane with support, and then he's enabled in that way. But this game they have like 3 bad lanes, and this Bloodseeker's purpose is kind of diminished, and I feel like that's probably the biggest thing they have to think about. If they want to make this Bloodseeker work, they have to think about the heroes that he can't lane against.
And what about in terms of trying to protect mid? What's the way that Newbee needs to step it up and have an efficient mid game?
I think you just need to pick heroes who are like with the escape abilities. Otherwise, you have to like I don't know, invest a lot of heroes mid, which I don't think is really good for the meta. It probably is. But it's the ideal way is to do it like just pick like stuff like Quap and Pug. So it's really hard to pressure. And even if you pressure it, all they need is like some experience, and they're gonna like have a bigger impact in the game.
Yeah.
That's why heroes like Lina and stuff are struggling in the meta, because there's like Prophets being picked, and like someone just wraps around. There's Furon in your lane, and there's like 4 heroes in your lane, and like it's really rough to like deal with it. And Yeah.
Burge, I want to get your thoughts on the series in terms of how Liquid was able to dominate seemingly all 3 lanes right from the get-go.
Yeah, the lane rotations were a big aspect, the Nature's Prophet especially. GH started in the off lane to set up an early kill on Batrider. They did some great body blocking, which gave them all these easy right clicks. And getting first blood like that is a huge advantage. It allows GH to leave his lane, go somewhere else, help out other spots. A short minute later or so, that's when we first saw the initial teleport from Nature's Prophet. He's able to snipe a courier, and they get the Lina. And the CM comes in, and ultimately they are able to kill her too with GH moving over from that bot lane. So they were just getting kills after kills after kills with absolutely no response. And I was a bit concerned and confused as well why they got so much with nothing in return. And I took a look at Kunkka's perspective, and he had a lot of troubles finding efficiency. Sumail mentioned maybe dual mid, not the most efficient thing. And that's basically what Kunkka did here. He was maybe expecting a dual lane of his opponents. He grabs mana burn level 1, he uses it, but it's a really long skill cooldown, and it doesn't really help that much in ganks. He moves all the way to the bot lane because Batrider got ganked, and then as that dive that I just showed you happens, he TPs the mid lane, has no mana, has no skill. So they were kind of playing a 4v5 at the start of the game, and their other support, Crystal Maiden, also isn't very good at early trading. So I think that really cost them a lot in those early fights.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Nyx have an extremely high win rate overall, but that doesn't necessarily translate to huge power automatically.
Yep, he's got to be in the right place at the right time.
And with that, Team Liquid is currently getting huge momentum in this, having win after win after win after win in lowers, and Newbee have been waiting around all day to play, and in their very first match, very one-sided loss. So with that, Game 2 will be coming up soon, and before we go to that, we got Casey in the crowd. What's the mood like in the Key Arena?
All right, what's the mood like in Key Arena? Ooh, look at all those lights. What? All right. What did you think of that first game?
It's pretty ridiculous. Yeah, I'm a fan of Dota.
Go ahead, now say it.
Oh, I was saying hi to my boy Aram. Shout out.
Hey, why don't we just do a shout out show? Who has people they want to say hi to? All right, do you think this is going to go to 5 games? Who has a prediction?
Oh, I have no idea. It's going to be Liquid in game 4.
Liquid in 4. Wow. Anybody else have a different? You guys are doing such great handwork over here. Do you want us to put you on camera? Shout out to KP. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. I hear an LC accent. Excuse me. Pardon me. Sorry, pregnant lady coming. Now say it. Go ahead. Say it.
Yep. Shout out to KP, doing it for Australia. Good luck, mate.
Good luck, mate. Good luck, mate. Okay, I'm going to sit. Oh, who's ready to watch some more Dota? You guys can do better than that. Who's ready to see some awesome Dota? We're getting hype in here. I don't know about you guys on the panel, but we need your energy.